This is the video you need to watch. My name is Credit Coach Nicole Scott, and in today's video, we are going to be going through someone who's been a victim of identity theft. And if I can just get you to do me a favor before we go any further, I need you to go ahead. I need you to subscribe to the channel. I need you to like the video, and I need you to go ahead and just drop me a comment below. Let me know what you found most valuable about this video. And of course, maybe some things that you would like to know more about. So leave your comments below, guys. I really appreciate it because your engagement with this video is going to help it reach a wider audience. It tells YouTube, hey, this is stuff that people who are looking for this type of information really need to see versus, some of these other people that might not give you the real, might just give you a little bit of the story. But then when you want the rest or you want some more direction, oh, that's going to be 1,500. That's going to be 25. That's going to be 5,000. That's going to be 10,000. Well, not today, folks. I don't know how long this video is going to be on YouTube for free. In this video, I'm going to be showing you what many call a credit sweep. Now, if you're not familiar with what a credit sweep is where you go ahead and you dispute everything that is negative on a credit report with the credit bureaus, being Experian, Transunion, and Equifax, and also the creditor who is reporting it. That's a credit sweep. Now, there is a difference between, of course, just a regular credit sweep and then, of course, a sweep that has to do with identity theft. That's a little bit of a different story. So, of course, every situation is unique, right? So I want you guys to just understand that in this video, I'm going to be showing you ways that some of you might, take and maybe not be truthful with. And I am here to say that I'm not liable for anybody. I'm not telling anybody how to commit crimes. And I am not a lawyer. I don't give legal advice. This is simply how to help people that have truly been a victim of identity theft. So I just want to put that on record. Okay. So if you have been a victim of identity theft, if your client has been a victim of identity theft, meaning they have accounts listed on their credit report, maybe someone took their information and obtained credit, applied for credit, used credit, whatever the case may be, if they have been a victim of identity theft, then they will need to follow some additional steps. And in this video, I'm literally going to walk you through the steps. So it's really important that if you are committed to watching this video and truly learning, that you watch the entire video, okay? And I know some of my videos are long, but bear with me because I'm telling you guys, this information is literally something that when I was first learning how to do this, I had to pay for. I literally had to pay for the game, okay? And I'm giving you this information because I want you guys to win. Simple as that. I want you guys to win. And I do offer coaching and I do offer mentoring. So if you want to schedule a session with me one-on-one, use the link below and you can schedule a session with me. If you want to purchase a coaching package, we have coaching packages on our website, therealnicolescott.com. Okay, if you want to apply for personal funding or business funding, go to creditcoachpros.com. Okay, all of our digital products are on our website, therealnicolescott.com. Okay, so you can get there by going directly to my website, or you can also go to my link tree, and my link tree is below in the description. Okay, if you just want to do a quick introduction call and talk about some things and see if we would be a good match to work together, schedule a free discovery call. It's 15 minutes. We can talk about your goals and I can definitely help you out because I know this is a lot of information to process, right? I get it. And people ask me all the time, how did you learn all this? Where did you, how, right? Well, let me tell you the tricks. Okay. I'm going to tell you exactly how I learned all of this. I literally watched YouTube a ton. Okay. I listened to a ton of different people, right? And then I used my best judgment. Okay. and I put it all together in my brain. I joined a ton of different mentorships and I put all the information together. Okay. And I literally am giving you guys all this information. So, not only can I help with personal credit, but business credit, social media, building your websites, and I didn't learn all this stuff overnight, but as a business owner, it's really important for us to be self-sufficient and know how to do all these things. So in the future, if we need to hire someone, we can show them exactly what we want, because it's really hard for us to hire someone when we have a vision, but nobody else can see our vision. We haven't even done our vision, so we don't even know what our vision really looks like on paper. And that's why you need the standard operating procedures. So you can put your vision onto paper, or you can record your vision, do training videos, however you can get your vision out to other people so they can actually do the work and accomplish it. Perfect. But you got to know how to do it first, right? You got to know how to do everything in your business. You never want to be 100% reliant on somebody else, right? You always want to be self-sufficient. And that's what I'm all about, is empowering entrepreneurs to be financially fit. So let's go ahead and let's get started, because I'm going to be actually working on a client's file live with you guys as a training, as I always do, right? So before we get there, if you have not subscribed, please do so. If you have not liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Okay. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you found most valuable about the video. And please watch till the end, because in my videos, if you've watched any of my other videos, I literally drop gems throughout my entire video. So you got to watch to the end. Okay. Let's go. Let's get started. Okay. We work inside of an app called Credit Repair Cloud. And Credit Repair Cloud is a software, and it's a tool to help you automate the credit repair process, to help you automate doing the dispute letters. It is $179 a month, but you can sign up for a free 30-day trial and get yourself acclimated with the software and get your first round of letters done. And then, if you want to pay for it, you can. You don't need the software if you feel like, hey, that's just too much money for me right now. You can do the letters. You can do the same process with Microsoft Word. You can use Google Docs. You can handwrite the letters for all I care. I mean, just get it done. However you can do it, get it done, because you have to apply the process that I'm showing you to what best fits your needs and what best fits your budget. Okay. So, this is how it goes. We're going to be in Credit Repair Cloud. This is one of my clients' file. And mind you, just because someone has been a victim of identity theft does not make the process any faster than someone that has not been a victim of identity theft. In today's age, claiming identity theft is not a get rid of something quick thing, because they often come back, somehow that it's inaccurate or it's verified. Unfortunately, the credit bureaus are just a hot mess. That's the best thing that I can really say, that the credit bureaus are just simply a hot mess. Their computer system is all haywire, and honestly, they have a really messed up system, and that's why they have a huge budget of that they put away every year, because they get sued so much. And sometimes at the end of the day, you do have to sue the credit bureaus, because they simply just don't have the resources to be able to keep up with everyone's disputes. So they use a computer system called the eOscar system, and the eOscar system basically reads our letters if it can. Now, if it can't read the letter, I'm sure the letter will get kicked to a human, right? And that's our goal. So we want handwrite letters. I always handwrite notes on my letters. When I send additional documentation, I will handwrite on the additional documentation. That has helped me. I'll take screenshots of items. I will send any sort of supporting proof that I can. And even still, when we send all of this information along with our photo ID, a valid photo ID, maybe a social security card, and then a proof of address, I recommend those 3 items, because then the credit bureaus can't say, oh, we got all this stuff, but we can't verify who you are. If you send them all that supporting documentation, there's no reason for them to stall you. There's no reason for them to say, hey, we can't verify you, because guess what? They have all of the information that they would need, right? So there's no excuse. So send them all of that information along with your dispute letter, which can be simple as 1 page. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. It doesn't even need to be heavy on the law. It just needs to give the basics with the supporting documentation, whatever that may be. Now, if you want to incorporate some of the law with your letters, that's even better, right? That's definitely going to help. But for those that are just getting started and so concerned about the law, hey, we're not lawyers. We don't pretend to be lawyers. We're credit specialists. The job of us is to send supporting documentation. If they can't prove it, they got to remove it, right? So use that concept and get to it. Just get it done. That's all you got to do is just get it done. Okay. Simple as that, right? Well, I mean, we make it seem like it's so easy, but it's really not. And if it was so easy, I probably wouldn't even be in business. So I don't know, but at any rate, this is how you do it. Okay. So this is one of my clients' files inside Credit Repair Cloud. And basically what we're going to do is I'm actually going to show you guys how to re-import the credit report and then just go through it, because this is going to be round 4 for the client. So we're actually going to import the credit report. And if you are a Credit Repair Cloud user, you can probably skip through this portion. But if you are new to Credit Repair Cloud, you definitely want to watch each of these steps. Okay. So when you are in the client's dashboard, there's 2 ways that you can get to tab 1. You can either click on tab 1, which is what I usually do, or you can go to the import audit button right here. So we're going to go ahead and just go to tab 1, and we're going to go ahead and do re-import credit report. Now, mind you, we just did this, so I'm just doing this to kind of show you guys. So I'm going to click re-import credit report. And basically what this does is just connect to Identity IQ or Smart Credit or whoever the credit monitoring is. Now, mind you, you cannot change credit monitorings. I don't recommend that. So if you already have a credit monitoring like Identity IQ and you've already been using it, then just stick with that. You cannot switch from Identity IQ to Smart Credit when you're a few months in. You have to just stick it out. Credit Repair Cloud is compatible with Identity IQ, Smart Credit, My Free Score Now, My Score IQ, and Privacy Guard. So you can use those credit reports to import into Credit Repair Cloud if you have an account with them. If you don't have an account with them, it's really difficult. So that's why I recommend if you are using Credit Repair Cloud to actually get your credit reports with Smart Credit. And you can actually get your credit reports with Smart Credit using the link below. So you can actually get your 3 bureau credit reports with Experian, Equifax, and Transunion using the link below. And if you are a credit repair business, or if you want to start a credit repair business, you want to use the link below to sign up to become an affiliate with Smart Credit for absolutely free. And I highly recommend Smart Credit because of the fact that not only do I use Smart Credit and I use Smart Credit for all of my clients, but I actually get a hefty affiliate check from them on a monthly basis that literally pays for my car payment, my insurance, my gas, and that's the same car that I put on Turo to make me even more income. So, I mean, it's just a matter of having multiple streams of income, okay? And affiliate marketing is a great way. Turo is also a great way, but affiliate marketing is a great way for you to make additional income as a credit repair specialist, or, you know, even just offering DIY credit repair. Either way. But use the link below to sign up to become a free affiliate with Smart Credit. So, like I said, we actually already imported this. We already got the client's report. I'm just doing this so I can actually just, you know, go through the process with you guys. But the report, once you've imported it for the month and you already got that report, it's not going to show you all the deletions. But this client's credit actually went down severely. There were a lot of things deleted. I think there was over like 60 items deleted, but the credit score went down because the client had 2 recent late payments. So unfortunately, late payments are the hardest thing to get removed, and especially on open accounts. So, you know, I always encourage my clients, please, for the love of God, pay your bills on time. Please, for the love of God, if you have agreed to any credit obligations, pay them on time, pay them as agreed, at least pay the minimum amount due, because this literally ruins everything that we as credit specialists are doing to try to help you. When you get a late payment, especially a recent late payment, it literally kills your credit score. I have seen late payments reduce credit scores over 70 points, one even over 100 points. So unfortunately, this occurred with the client. We are going to try to get it corrected, but again, late payments are very, very hard to get corrected. So in this video, I'm actually going to be doing the late payments so I can show you guys as well. So it's kind of like a bonus video. And that's why I tell you, always watch my entire video, because you never know what type of information I'm going to be giving you guys. Okay. Because you know, I got all the credit sauce. If you ain't watched me since day one thing that you should know is I got it. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to, if this was your re-import, you download it as a PDF, because you're only going to get one chance to download the correct one. Okay. You want to download it. And then once you download it, you can put it into your client's internal notes file. Okay. That's another gem, because a lot of people don't even talk about that. So you need to have some sort of process, put it away in the notes, so that way you can document the process. Okay. So you can use Credit Repair Cloud kind of as like a CRM essentially, right? Because when you get this report, you download it, you also want to email it to your client. But at the same time, eventually you're going to forget every, interaction that you have with people. You can go back to the internal notes and be like, oh, here's the note. Oh, they signed up on this day. Oh, this day they called me. Oh, this day we talked about this. This day they text me about this. Oh, here's their re-import summary. All of your communications, all of your, back and forth, it needs to be documented. Okay. So if you download this, upload it into the internal notes, make a note that you emailed it to the client on this date. If you guys have a phone call, document the process, document, hey, we had a phone call on this day. This is what we talked about. Blah, 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 whatever the case is, that they need to do this, or I told the client that they need to advise client that they need to start building positive credit. Okay. Advise client, they need to start paying their bills on time. Advise clients, stop making inquiries. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue to the preview page. Alrighty. So here we are. This is actually still considered like inside of tab 1. So what we're going to do is just first and foremost, as I always say, we're going to select their personal information. And sometimes you'll think, oh, well, that might be right because it's kind of their name. Well, no, if it's not 100% correct, it's not correct. Sometimes names are spelled incorrectly, like this client's name is spelled incorrectly. And the variation of it is incorrect. So we're going to just go ahead and dispute all of the inaccuracies. Looks like we have the address correct from some other disputes that we did. And now obviously when this client first started with us, that was not the case. And you'll notice previous addresses on one bureau are no longer there. I mean, you guys won't necessarily need to see, you won't see that because all of this is blurred out for privacy protection. But I'm just showing you guys the process. And again, the process is personal information first, correct your personal information first. That's first, okay? Because you never want to, maybe if you've been a victim of identity theft, you never want to have that person's address on your credit file, because every time someone applies for something and they apply with a certain address, that address is going to go on your credit report. And that's why it's so important to get a copy of your credit report and know what's on your credit report, because you sometimes will see some really crazy stuff. I have seen some crazy stuff on people's credit reports. I have seen just all sorts of stuff. So you want to get a copy of your credit reports. Again, you can use the link below to get a copy of your credit reports. And that way, at least you know what's on there, because it's really important. And highlight the errors, highlight the inconsistencies, highlight the things that you don't recognize, and be aware of what's going on. Second, inquiries. Okay. Inquiries are 10% of your credit. So even if you get a lot of inquiries deleted, it doesn't necessarily mean that your credit score is going to go up. Inquiries are somewhat important. Inquiries are important when you have a ton of inquiries, but you don't have accounts with any of those inquiries. If you have a high number of inquiries, but say you have like 10 or 12 inquiries, but you have relationships with maybe 11 of those inquiries, then that is okay because you have built credit with these places. But obviously, if you have, 20 inquiries and you don't have accounts with any of these places, nobody's giving you credit. So it doesn't look good. So we want to clean up inquiries that are not tied to an open, active line of credit. Okay. So if you have an inquiry with, say, Navy Federal, but you have a Navy Federal account, don't dispute it. Okay. Now, have I seen people dispute them in the past and get away with it? Yes, I have. But I don't recommend it. I don't recommend disputing any sort of account that you actually have an account with. I only recommend that you dispute. And mind you, when you dispute, you want to make sure that you list the inquiry name and the inquiry date. The inquiry name and the inquiry date. Okay, those are two pieces of information that you must list in order to have the credit bureaus remove it from your credit profile. Okay, you can always do the 24-hour inquiry removal guide. I have a copy of that down here in the description, so you can get a copy of the 24-hour inquiry guide. It does require a phone call, so you have to be able to make phone calls, but you can always do dispute letters as well. Mail them. That is best, just a regular stamp mail. Okay, very easy. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to dispute here. I'm not going to dispute the Navy or some of the other ones that are listed here because they have relationships and they are valid. But some of these are just simply not valid. Okay. And again, inquiries will remain on a credit file for up to 25 months. So it is about a year and 1 month. So a lot of people will say, well, this was in June of 2020. It shouldn't be on my credit. No, it shouldn't. However, it's about 25 months before credit inquiries will organically or naturally fall off your credit report. So don't get frustrated. If it's still there, it will fall off soon. Sometimes you have to dispute it and let them know, hey, this has already been on my credit for 24 months because, of course, they say, hey, it will stay on your credit report for 2 years, right? 2 years is 24 months, but the credit bureaus take 30 days to process everything. So if you want to speed it up, and of course, they're slow. So if you want to speed it up, dispute it via mail. That's the fastest way. And always dispute via mail. Don't dispute online. You can dispute over the phone. That's okay as well for inquiries and personal information. I wouldn't recommend anything else. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of looking here for some additional accounts that might need to be disputed, but we'll go ahead and move on here. So, the first account that we have is an open account. So we have to be careful with open accounts. Now, accounts can remain on a credit report for 10 years from the date of last activity. So negative accounts really should only, negative accounts should be removed after 7 years or 10 years for like bankruptcies, but again, sometimes when something is reported, it's really hard to get it off. And sometimes things take a while to kind of get updated. And sometimes dates are not accurately reported. So sometimes accounts get re-aged. Sometimes the data varies from bureau to bureau. I mean, it's just crazy information. That's why you have to really read your credit reports and understand how to read your credit reports, understand what this information means, because it's really, really important. You also want to understand the date of last activity. That is going to be like your DOLA date, the date of last activity, DOLA. Okay, that's an important date because that is the date that's like basically when the time clock starts, okay? From the date of last activity. And what these collection companies do is they will re-age the account and change the date of last activity to something recent. Well, it's certainly not that date because I never had any activity with you. So you got me effed up. WTF. So YouTube told me I can't cuss anymore, unfortunately. So I know, no fun, right? But that's what they told me. I have to keep it PG. So I'm going to do that. So let's go ahead and do a goodwill adjustment letter. So what we're going to do is, this one is open, but it's currently reporting as 30 days late because I told you this client had some minor issues. So we're going to ask them, please provide goodwill adjustment. And we're going to ask them for a late payment adjustment under the CARES Act. Now, the CARES Act isn't necessarily still in effect, but this client had a medical emergency and COVID is still very, very real. And unfortunately, a lot of people are getting very, very ill. And I've had a lot of clients that have gotten COVID recently, and it's really sad. And my heart goes out to all these people that are suffering from COVID. And it's really sad because the government, I feel like they're just kind of brushing under the rug, like everything's fine, don't wear a mask. Like all these people that are flying are getting COVID, including both my parents recently flew and both got COVID. So airlines, be ashamed. You should be making these people wear a mask. But anyways, we're going to ask them for a goodwill adjustment, synchrony. Let's take a look at this account. Anything that shows up in red, that's a problem. Anything that lists late payments, derogatory, charge off, anything that's going to affect your credit, you need to highlight. You need to, if you're using Credit Repair Cloud, it'll come up as red. So you just have to understand what's affecting you. Late payments affect you. You have to pay your bills on time. You have to pay your credit obligations on time. Please, please, please. Okay. And also keep your credit card balances low. Okay. If you have secured credit cards, just don't use them. They're not going to help you. They're just not going to help you. They're too low of a balance or too low of a limit. And any type of balance that you put on there is just going to kill your credit utilization. So just do nothing. Just let them sit in your drawer, use them as a stepping stone, start opening up some bank accounts with credit unions, Navy Federal, PenFed, First Tech, Alliant, the list goes on. Get my free credit building guide. Okay. It's in the link below. I have a free guide that is literally going to give you all primary trade lines, a ton of value, just a ton of value. Like I usually charge for that, but because I love you guys so much, I literally made a free version just for you guys. Okay. So get it. And mind you, like this is the same type of information that people charge thousands of dollars for. So don't take this information lightly because like I said, I don't know how long these videos are going to be free on YouTube. And I want to try to keep this on YouTube for free as long as possible. But I need you guys to do your job and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So that way, of course, I can still provide you guys with the amount of value that I do because YouTube's going to pay me and you guys don't. Okay. And I only have a few more hours of watch time to go before I get monetized on my YouTube channel as of, what is today's August? What is today's date? Days fly by so fast. August 5th, 2022. I think I have a few more hours of watch time on YouTube. So if you can go ahead and watch the entire Credit Repair Cloud playlist, that'll definitely help me reach my goal. And I appreciate you. Okay, so this is just a late payment as well. So we're just going to ask for a goodwill adjustment. And we're asking for basically for them to remove the late payment under the CARES Act due to the COVID-19 forbearance program regulations, because it stated that no late payments should be reported since they basically suffered from a medical, they're calling it not necessarily a medical emergency, but rather a, something as it's a disaster, basically. It's something that's a natural disaster. We were affected by a natural disaster because COVID is a disaster. It really is. And unfortunately, a lot of people have suffered from it. So it is horrible. And, these places are still reporting late payments for people that and I really hope that some of these consumer lawyers really getting their butts about that because it's very sad. At any rate, if the account is not reporting as negative, there is no negative information about it, just leave it alone. There's nothing that we need to do. So all of these accounts that show as positive, there is nothing that we need to do about those accounts, okay? So let's move on to the next account. This is also an open account, and the client has recently got a late payment on this. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask for a goodwill adjustment. You never really want to get too aggressive with late payments on open accounts because you don't want them to close the account on you, okay? That's one thing that you really got to be careful with when it comes to late payments and disputing them with open accounts, because I have had clients and we've disputed late payments with the creditor and the credit bureau, and the creditor closed their account. Why? I don't know. We were just telling them, hey, can you help me out? Can you provide me with a goodwill adjustment? They closed the account. So sometimes they don't read, which is very normal in this industry. So sometimes you really have to send multiple rounds of letters, continue to fight, continue to send letters. Sometimes it takes up to a year. It really does. And you really have to be diligent and send those letters out every 30 days. Set a reminder in your phone, put it in your calendar every 30 to 45 days, repull your credit, send those letters out, be diligent about this, get it done. If you're one of those people that like to do it yourself, this is going to be great for you because you can literally take the same money that you're going to use to pay someone else, pay for Credit Repair Club, pay for coaching for someone like myself, and be good to go. You can do this on your own, and then you can help other people. You can help your family, your friends, and your loved ones get their credit together, because I talk to a lot of people every day, and unfortunately, credit is just not something that is taught. So a lot of people just don't realize how simple it can be to repair your credit. They just say, oh, I messed up. It's the end of the world. I can't do nothing about it. You can settle your debt. You can dispute debt. You can fight your debt using the law. There's a lot of options that you can use to help better your credit, including building positive credit, which is why you got to use the credit builder guide below, the free guide, to build up your positive trade lines. Primary. Okay. I also have authorized user trade lines. So if you do need to boost your credit score, use our link below. Sign up. You can view our trade line list. If you want to get on our email list, I send out deals about our trade lines every couple of weeks. And we have really good deals on trade lines. We have packages. So if you are looking to get multiple trade lines, we can give you some discounts and get you a package deal. So that's exciting. Let's go ahead and move on. Sometimes I get off track, but that's okay, because I'm here for you guys. Even though today I've already had 2 coaching calls, I'm so tired. It's like Friday night, but guess what? I don't have nothing better to do but to be with you guys and to get through this and to work on clients. Because why? Because I'm a credit hero. That's why. Okay. All right, let's go. So CARES Act, same thing. These accounts, no issues. So we don't need to worry about anything that doesn't have an issue. There's a lot of positive accounts, which is what's necessary. All right, our next negative account that is open. Okay, it's current. So it looks like the reason why it is reporting as derogatory, as negative, not derogatory, because it's open and it's current, is it was late. So this client did have some late payments. So what I'm doing is just saying, hey, please provide a goodwill adjustment under the CARES Act, because some of these late payments were during the CARES Act. And we're going to ask for that. Now, does it always work? No, it doesn't always work, because guess what? Late payments are the hardest thing to get removed on your credit profile. Okay, they are. There's no guarantee it is going to work, but that is the way to go about getting late payments removed should they get corrected. And it's always worth a shot to get it corrected, because hey, they might say no today, but they might say yes in 6 months. I have had that happen. Okay, that's why I say never give up. Never give up. Keep on trucking, because the more you dispute it, eventually credit bureaus will just take that right off your credit profile. They don't even understand. No, I just wanted you to take the late payment off. They'll take the whole account off. They're so stupid sometimes. So Anywho, here's the next account. This is going to be just reported to Experian. It is currently open. And this is actually one of the accounts that was listed from the client saying that, no, this was not something that I did. This is not something that I have. This is nobody that I have a relationship with. This client had a lot of positive credit. They actually had a really good credit score. And then all of a sudden, all these accounts started popping up and their credit score literally just died, unfortunately. And that's what happens with identity theft. People get a hold of your information. They start opening up all these accounts. And then 90 days, 60 days later, when the accounts start reporting as negative on your credit profile, you're like, where did all this come from? You got to pull your credit reports, okay? You got to have credit monitoring. You got to know what's going on. Anyone can take your information. Even if you don't have much credit, they can still take your information. I can't do much, people can't do much with people that have bad credit because you're not going to get approved for anything, but you always want to protect yourself. You always want to make sure that you're being safe. Okay, so this one is identity theft, right? I get sidetracked. And it's been a long day. So what we're going to do is say, I have been a victim of fraud. Account does not belong to me. I am a victim of ID theft. Please delete. It can be as simple as that. You don't need to go into much detail in the reason and instructions, okay? So we'll move on, bunch of more accounts the client had, and then we have another account that was same thing, identity theft. So I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to go ahead and say identity theft, fraudulent account. I am a victim of identity theft. Please delete. Says basically the same thing, just not with the same in lingo, right? So it's basically the same thing. I'm just trying something different. I always want to try something different. You always want to be different. You want to be unique. You want to make sure that you're not using the same thing that anyone else is saying, right? So I always try to be different. Austin Capital. That is Credit Strong. So the client had a Credit Strong account that was used to build credit, and then they got a late payment on there. So if you have a self-lender account or a Credit Strong account, make sure you're on auto pay, please. Okay, please don't pay your bill late because these are accounts that we're using to build your credit. And this is detrimental to our process and our progress. So it's so upsetting, so upsetting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say, please remove 30-day was late one time, update to paid as agreed, reported late payment is an error. Now, we've already disputed this, but we're going to go ahead and try to dispute it again. And it does say reinvestigation is in process. So hopefully, by us just disputing it, they'll just delete it. Actually, we're going to say account misleading. And we're just going to say, please delete immediately and confirm in writing. We're going to say FDCPA 807 violation for misleading fraudulent reporting. And then we're going to just ask them to delete it. Because at this point, we keep disputing it. I would rather just get the account off the credit profile because it's already closed. It's not open. So, just go ahead and just delete it off the credit because it's hurting this client. It's reporting a late payment. Unfortunately, self-reported a late payment. So that's the downside about the credit builder accounts is you got to pay them on time. You got to be responsible. If you close it, you got to make sure that, you're following up with them and because they will report a late payment on you quick. All right, here is another one. And okay, this is open. Okay, got you. So this is actually closed. It looks like it was closed due to inactivity, which is very normal. So it's no longer open. It is reporting a late payment. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to do the same thing. And we're going to ask them to just delete it, because at this point, they're not updating the information. So we're just going to say, look, just delete it and let me know, because you're reporting information that is not accurate. Not all that information is reported as accurate. So that's what we're disputing. Make them prove it or remove it. Prove it or remove it. Okay. Esurance. Here is a company that is reporting a derogatory account. You always want to look at the balance, because if this is, actually, no, this one was the identity theft as well. So this one is actually going to be under the identity theft. Some of these accounts were not identity theft. Some of them were. So when I went through the profile with the client, they were able to tell me what was what. And then once we get further on, I'm going to show you the documents that your client's going to need to provide you with once they have been a victim of identity theft. Okay, we'll get to that later on. So stick around. Make sure you have your pen. Make sure you're taking notes. And of course, make sure that you have subscribed. Make sure that you like the video. Give you a thumbs up. And comment below. Okay. Esurance is reporting as a derogatory every month. So it's literally killing this client's credit score. And we're going to go ahead and say the same thing that we did is identity theft, victim of fraud, account does not belong to me. I have been a victim of ID theft. Please delete. Okay. And then last but not least is this car. And this is the same thing. So, it was actually identity theft as well. What happened was somebody got a car under this client's name, and you can clearly see that they used the client because it's a joint account. Okay, so someone signed up as a joint account, unbeknownst to the client, of course, and the car was taken back because whoever got it didn't pay it, and now it's on this client's credit profile, which obviously is identity theft because the client was never at the auto dealership. They didn't know a car was being sold in their name, yada, yada, yada. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing here and see how this kind of stuff can literally ruin someone's life, being a victim of identity theft. So it's really frustrating. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and save our work. So we just tagged the report and we gave a simple instruction of what the reason was we gave a simple reason as to why we're disputing it, what we want done about it. Okay, reason and instruction. Okay, now we are on tab 3 where we're going to generate the letter. So essentially now that we've gone through the credit report, and if you don't have Credit Repair Cloud, apply this to you just going through your credit report with a highlighter. Okay, Credit Repair Cloud is just a tool to automate the process. If you're doing it by hand, go print your credit report, highlight all the stuff, and you can start writing your letters. Okay, and if you want to get our letter library, you can do that. You can also use letters in Microsoft Word or Google Docs. Most of our letters are either compatible with Microsoft Word or Google Docs. They're actually compatible with both, but you do have to be, a little computer savvy to be able to put your letters together. But you can always handwrite your letters as well. You don't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. You just got to get it done. Be like Nike and just do it, baby. So let's go. Let's get this on the road because I got to go. I got things to do. It's Friday night. I want to go be with my family. And Love After Lockup is coming on at 8. So I definitely have to watch that. If you guys don't watch that show, it is pure entertainment. So shout out to Love After Lockup. If you need help, if any of you Love After Lockup folks need help with your credit, you better call Credit Coach Nicole Scott. Today, I'm telling you right now, I'll hook you up for free, for the F, okay? We're going to select round 2 or higher. What just happened? So we're going to hit round 2 or higher. The reason why I always do round 2 or higher, because a round is just simply the amount of letters that you're like, this is my first time. This is my first round. That means the same thing. This is my first time sending letters for a client. So this is going to be my first round. If this is your first time sending letters for yourself or for a client, this is going to be round 1. The second time sending letters is going to be round 2. So I always select round 2, even though this might be, round 3 or round 1, because I want to select my custom letters from my custom library inside Credit Repair Cloud. So I select round 2. That's the only reason. And I want to select to credit bureau. And I also want to send letters to the creditor, the data furnisher, who is listed on the credit report. All right. So now we are going to go credit bureau first. We're going to save the pending items. In this case, we have a lot of stuff that's already been done in the past. So, because again, we just did this for this client, but I'm redoing it for the purpose of this training video. So let's focus on the identity theft first. We can put all of the things that were a victim of identity theft on the same letter, because that letter is going to be completely separate than any other letter. So we want to go ahead and we're going to add you can add personal information to it, because who knows if old addresses are associated with fraud, because if it doesn't belong to you, maybe it is. I don't know. It's not my job to determine those things. It's the credit bureau's job to, understand that they need to provide correct and accurate information on the credit reports. Okay. And some derogatory information might belong to some people. And that's why I say, you got to settle, because if it truly does belong to you and, you're just trying to get out of debt, it's probably not going to work, and that's just me being transparent with you. So some debts we do have to settle with. Some debts can be resolved via dispute because they simply cannot prove that it was you beyond a reasonable doubt in the court of law, or they cannot legally prove that it belongs to you. Okay. If you use the law properly, and I have an ebook that literally gives you the key areas of the law to help you get some of these accounts removed by using the law in your favor. And then obviously supplying them with any sort of supporting documentation that you can. Okay. If there's errors on your credit report, they can't report those errors. Okay. You can file complaints with the Better Business Bureau, BBB. You can also file complaints with the CFPB, that is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Okay. You can file a complaint with them. So use these, bureaus to your advantage. The credit bureaus, they're not government agencies. They're not anyone besides a for-profit company that makes billions off of us. And half the time they're reporting information that's either fraudulent, inaccurate, or incomplete. So I can't feel bad for them. But anyways, we're going to select everything that this client was a victim of fraud. And mind you, they also had a ton of inquiries that were fraudulent as well. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add those on there. It looks like a lot of these are from auto dealers, or just so much. There's just so much on here. So it's just literally insane. And people will do that. Once they get your information, they will just run a credit report wild. And it's sad, but it is very, very common, unfortunately. So that's why, when this does happen to people, a lot of clients are like, well, it doesn't do any good to even say anything because the credit bureaus don't do anything about it. Well, that's because you got to send them the proper documentation. So we'll get to that. But let's go ahead and get everything disputed first, and then we'll get into what to send in addition to that. Okay, so we're going to add all this stuff. You can add it all to the same letter because it's not going to be an issue. I mean, why only add 5 items to a letter? It just doesn't make sense, especially when it's, a a fraud case. So you want to add everything that is fraudulent on the credit report to just one letter. Okay. Simple. Hey, I've been a victim of fraud. Here's the account names. Here's the account numbers that were listed. If you have a bunch of X's, just copy and paste or type it just how you see it on your credit report, or write it just how you see it on the credit report. X's and O's, dots, everything. Okay. Exactly how you see it on your credit report is how you want to list it. Okay. Because that's the information that the credit report is reporting. With inquiries, you want to use the date and the inquiry name. The inquiry name that is listed on your credit report and the date. Okay. Now that I've got all those items, I'm going to save and continue. I'm going to select credit bureau letters, and I'm going to select our identity theft report. Okay. And that is identity theft, FTC report, and proof. Because when you are doing identity theft, you need to have the client file a report with the FTC identitytheft.gov website, okay, identitytheft.gov website, and make a police report. And in this case, the client did both of those things. They made a police report, they made a complaint on the FTC identitytheft.gov website, because that's where you can document that you have been a victim of identity theft and send that supporting documentation in addition to the dispute letters and your ID, proof of address, and social security card to Experian, Equifax, and Transunion. Now, if the account's not reported to Equifax, but it's reporting to Transunion, then obviously you only need to list that account with Equifax. You only want to report the information based on what's reporting to that particular credit bureau. Okay, so that's why this software helps out, because it does it for you. Because a lot of people don't want to sit there and do it. But if you have the time, please, by all means, just get it done. That's all we want you to do, is just get it done. All right, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. There it is, and it's all correct on here. I'm just gonna hit save. That is that easy. Round, I don't know, whatever this is, round 3, maybe round 4, who knows? I think this is actually round 4 for the client. So we're going to just put disputes, or this is going to be ID theft. And I'm going to go ahead and put ID theft, and I'm going to save it. And mind you, we've already got like over 60 items deleted for this client. So this is like what's left after 4 rounds or 3 rounds that we've already done for them. So it takes a while for the credit bureaus to really get this stuff off. Okay. And that's why it's important for you to continue to send in your disputes and not give up, because it just doesn't take just one time. It's a process. Okay. Unfortunately, it is. All right. So we're going to hit the back button. We're going to clear out all these items that we just sent. All of the inquiries that we just sent, of course. And then what we're actually going to do as well is we're going to send identity theft letters to the accounts that are listed on the credit here. So I'm gonna actually add all of the accounts that were credits, or I'm sorry, that were identity theft, not the inquiries, but rather the accounts. Anything that has an account number, I'm going to go ahead and let them know, hey, look, this was identity theft, and I did not do this. Because they're going to need a copy of that police report, the FTC report, and most importantly, your identity theft, the truth affidavit. Okay, the affidavit that is notarized, okay, filled out and notarized. And I will show you what that looks like when we are done with this part. Okay, I'll show you exactly what those documents look like. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're going to add those to the dispute. And of course, these are going to be the creditors. So we're going to hit creditor. All right, so we're going to scroll to the bottom and make sure that the addresses are in there. Now, I know those addresses are correct. Sometimes the addresses are not in there. Addresses will be listed on your credit report. Addresses are required to be listed on your credit report. So you can always open up your credit report and see the address listed there. I'm going to use ID theft for a creditor to let them know, hey, I've been a victim of identity theft. Please, you know, do what you got to do. And this is going to be creditor save. All right. And we're going to exit those out. Now, when we send that letter to the creditor, that letter needs to be accompanied by ID, the police report, the truth affidavit, and the FTC report, okay? Because that's everything that they would ever possibly need to get it done, okay? And get it updated, get it removed. They need to do to get these things off of you because it was not you. You did not authorize it. You've been scammed. You've been a victim of fraud, whatever the case is. We need to get it off, okay? So let's go ahead and move on. We've done the identity theft. And what I'm going to do now is just kind of like a bonus for you guys. I'm going to show you how to do these late payments real quick. So let's go ahead and get that done for the client. We did everything else. So we're just going to select these late payments. And I'm going to come back for those two and do a different letter for those. I'm just doing the goodwill adjustment ones right now. All of the ones that say misleading, I'm going to put those on a different letter. So I'm just going to hit credit bureau letters, and I'm going to do late payment CARES Act letter to the credit bureaus. And I have this late payment letter that I send to the credit bureaus. I'm going to go ahead and just save that because it's saved in there. And if you want a copy of our letter library, you can go to our website, therealnicolescott.com, and you can purchase a copy of our letter library where it has all of these letters in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put late payment. And anyone who buys the letter library, you can go ahead and email me and I'll send you some additional, like my top favorite letters, because I have all of those saved. They're actually in there. If you can, you know, breeze through all the folders, look at all the stuff, they're in there, but I'll make sure you get them. So let's go ahead and hit the back button. We've done that. Now we're going to send it to the creditor. We sent it to the credit bureau. Now we're going to send it to the creditor. So we're going to go ahead and go creditor letter, and we're going to go ahead and do a late payment for the CARES Act, a goodwill adjustment letter. And this is just saying, you know, basically, please provide me with a goodwill adjustment letter. And sometimes you need to put additional information, or if you have a doctor's letter or a doctor's note, then you can attach that as well. So let's go ahead and see here. I'm going to go ahead, see attached proof. Okay, and I believe this client did send in a doctor's letter, so we'll just have to send that as proof with these as supporting documentation. So any sort of supporting documentation, make sure that's included with your letters because you want to provide them with anything additional that you can use to help support your claim, okay? And that goes with anything, like whether you're a victim of identity theft, whether you have proof of something, whether you have proof that you paid something on time and they're reporting it as late, whatever the case is, send it, okay? Send it. I'm going to do late payment here. This is going to be late pay, save. Okay, we're going to hit the back button. So we've already disputed the late payments with the credit bureaus. We disputed the late payments with the creditors. Now we're going to go back and we're going to add those last two accounts in that are waiting on us, okay? And those are the FDCPA 807 violation. And that is going to be on a separate letter for us. We're going to add these to the dispute. And to be honest, we've gotten a lot of things removed for this client. So this is just what's left. You should have seen when they first came to us. It was really bad. Like I said, we've got over 66 items deleted from this client's credit profile. Okay. And this is the method that we use. Okay. We're just getting a little bit more, aggressive with the creditors, the credit bureaus, and making sure that they have all the information that they need. Even though I feel like we've already sent them this information, we're going to send it to them again. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do credit bureau letters. I'm just going to go ahead and use my fraud account data letter, because that basically sums all of that up. And let's go ahead and do that. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just hit save, back, and I'm going to hit creditors. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, creditor letters. And dispute that with the creditor, save for later, save, we're done. Okay, so we just did everything on this client's file. What you need to include is the identity theft victims complaint and affidavit. Make sure everything's filled out. Make sure all of the accounts that were included in the fraud claim are listed on this sheet. Make sure that you do what's called an identity theft report with the FTC, which is identitytheft.gov. Make sure you list everything on this report. Print this report. Print your victim statement report. Also, make the client file a police report, okay? Because you're going to need a police report in conjunction with these other two documents, okay? The identity theft complaint and affidavit form. And you want to get this affidavit form notarized, okay? You want to get this notarized, if possible, signed by a police officer with the report number on it, and then, of course, notarized. But you also want to send in a copy of the police report. So in many cases, crimes like this are only reported online, so that's fine as long as you have the report number. Send all of those copies in with your dispute letters, in addition with your proof documents being your ID, your social security card, and your proof of residency. All right, guys, that's it. That's all. I'm going to wrap it on up. Happy Friday. Stay tuned for more videos. And if you haven't by now, make sure that you watch the entire Credit Repair Cloud playlist coming up next. Let's go.